Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you with us today because we are embarking on a truly fascinating journey. We're going to explore the massive, interconnected ecosystem that is quietly, and I mean quietly, running our modern world. We're talking about the Internet of Things, or IoT. Now, we're going to take a bottom-up approach today. We'll start at the absolute physical edge of this technology. You know, those tiny sensors interacting with the real world. And we'll build our understanding all the way up into the cloud, where massive data processing happens. Basically, think of this explainer as mapping out a giant global nervous system.
So, here is our technological blueprint for today. First, we'll unpack the anatomy of IoT. Then, we'll look at powering connectivity with 5G, followed by processing across the cloud, edge, and fog. After that, we'll see all of this in action with smart healthcare and city monitoring. And finally, we absolutely have to address the IoT security challenge. Let's get into it.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the anatomy of IoT.
At its core, the Internet of Things is essentially the networking of physical objects containing embedded electronics to communicate and sense interactions amongst each other or their environment. I want you to really notice the emphasis on physical objects there. If we go back to our nervous system analogy, these physical objects act as the senses. They're literally bridging the gap between the tactile, physical world you and I live in and the digital realm of data.
So, what exactly are these physical building blocks? Well, we've got four core pillars here. First, the sensors. These are our sensors, detecting very specific changes in the environment, things like temperature, gas, or moisture. Second, we have low-power embedded systems. This is absolutely crucial hardware designed specifically to just sip battery power, which lets devices run for months, sometimes years, in remote locations. Third, the processors. Think of these as the reflexes. These are your Arduino or Raspberry Pi boards that take the raw electrical signals from those sensors and extract the actual valuable data. And finally, the brain, cloud computing. These are the massive, highly reliable storage servers where all this data gets sent to be processed, visualized, and learned from. To put that into perspective, let's track a single piece of data, say a simple temperature reading. It literally travels step by step through a functioning data flow. It starts right at step 1, the sensor module, like a DS18B20 detecting the heat. That analog signal then moves to step 2, the embedded processor, like an Arduino Uno, which translates it into digital data. Step 3 is the connective network, firing that data over Wi-Fi or 5G. And finally, it lands at step 4, the application layer, showing up as a readable number on your Android app or a cloud dashboard. It's a literal physical journey from the real world straight to the user.
Moving right along to Section 2, powering connectivity with 5G and protocols.
Now, you might be wondering why everyone makes such a big deal about 5G in IoT. Well, when you compare it to 4G, it's a total game changer. With 4G, you're dealing with higher latency, standard power consumption, and pretty strict limits on how many devices can connect at once. But with 5G, the latency is reduced to mere milliseconds, giving us near real-time reactions. And perhaps even more importantly for our remote sensors, 5G actually improves energy efficiency when it's handling small data packets, which drastically prolongs battery life. Plus, it supports a massive number of simultaneous device connections. That is exactly what you need when you're trying to connect millions of smart devices in a single city.
But how do all these devices actually talk to each other without causing a massive traffic jam? That brings us to the MQTT publish/subscribe framework. Instead of every device trying to talk to every application directly, which would be total chaos, by the way, we use a central messenger. The sensor, acting as the publisher, sends its data to a message broker. Then, the applications, whether that's your phone or a hospital dashboard, simply subscribe to that data stream. The broker handles pushing the data out efficiently to whoever needs it. It's an incredibly elegant solution, it saves tons of bandwidth, and it is truly the backbone of IoT communication.
Okay, Section 3, processing across the cloud, edge, and fog. So where does all this data actually go to get thought about? IoT architecture distributes its brain power across 3 distinct layers to maximize both speed and efficiency. Up at the top, we have cloud computing. This is your centralized, massive storage for deep historical data analysis and visualization on platforms like ThingSpeak. But you know, sometimes the cloud is just too far away, causing lag. That's where edge computing steps in. This is processing data locally, right at the device level, to virtually eliminate network latency. And sitting comfortably between them is fog computing. This is an intermediate layer that often integrates AI and pre-processing closer to the ground. That's especially critical in fields like medicine, where you need fast, localized decisions before the data ever reaches the cloud.
Which perfectly segues into Section 4, revolutionizing smart healthcare.
Research engineers are doing some phenomenal things here by combining the exact processors and sensors we discussed earlier to solve really complex healthcare challenges. For example, research by Hammond and colleagues combined Arduino and Raspberry Pi with heart rate and galvanic skin response sensors for remote Android monitoring. Or take the work from Wu and their team, using a Raspberry Pi to power a wearable patch that tracks an ECG, blood temperature, and blood pressure. By mixing and matching these components at the edge, engineers are creating highly specialized, completely non-invasive medical tools.
The crucial takeaway here is this. We are no longer limited to checking vitals only when a patient is physically sitting in a hospital bed. Because of this low-power, high-connectivity architecture, IoT allows for round-the-clock monitoring of a patient's vital signs from literally anywhere. The system can process that data at the edge and instantly send SMS alerts to doctors if it detects abnormal readings. It is a massive paradigm shift from reactive care to proactive care. It literally saves lives.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 5, Environmental and City Monitoring.
When you scale IoT up to the macro level, you get sustainable infrastructure. In smart agriculture, entire networks of sensors measure soil quality and humidity to perfectly optimize crop watering, which saves massive amounts of resources. We're also seeing really clever IoT applications in rainwater harvesting, where Node MCU modules actively measure the pH levels of rainwater and automatically separate it into different storage tanks. And for overall environmental monitoring, researchers are deploying networks of low-cost, open hardware across cities to continuously track carbon monoxide, UV radiation, and even noise pollution. The city itself basically becomes a living, breathing, measurable entity.
Which brings us to our final topic, Section 6, the IoT Security Challenge.
I want to pose a question directly to you, based on everything we've looked at today. What do you think is the absolute main challenge of integrating lightning-fast 5G with billions of Internet of Things devices? Really think about the sheer scale of the architecture we just mapped out.
Well, as highlighted in our source material, the main challenge of 5G and IoT is security, precisely because of the larger attack surface created by numerous interconnected devices, diverse device types, and complex network infrastructures. It's just simple math, really. Every single new sensor, every new wearable medical patch, every smart agricultural water valve, they are all new nodes on the network. And more connections inherently mean a massively expanded potential attack surface for interference or data breaches.
But the good news is, engineers are aggressively tackling this by implementing some very robust solutions. They're utilizing PKI-based trusted identities to ensure devices are exactly who they say they are, preventing unauthorized access. They are enforcing strict end-to-end data encryption, which, as you can imagine, is absolutely non-negotiable for sensitive healthcare parameters. And down at the physical layer, they are continuously evaluating and mitigating RF signal or radio frequency signal interference, ensuring that your smart home devices don't inadvertently cross wires with other crucial signals. Security in the IoT space is for sure a continuous arms race.
We have covered an incredible amount of ground today, all the way from the physical edge sensors to 5G protocols, processing layers, and massive real-world applications. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick thought exercise. Look around your room right now. What dumb, everyday object, maybe a chair, a window, a coffee mug, might become a smart IoT node in the next 5 years? How will it sense its environment, and what kind of data will it send to the cloud? The architecture is already there, just waiting to connect it. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the Internet of Things. Keep learning and keep asking questions.